Hey, reporters, welcome back to my channel. It's finally time to talk about it. And by it, I mean Brennon Lemieux from season 3 of Love is Blind being arrested and charged for aggravated. I want to make sure I get this right. Sorry. I believe he was charged for, aggravated assault causing serious bodily injury. So this rumor has been flying around for a while now, but I never saw receipts until recently when you guys started sending them to me. So now that I've got the receipts in the form of the incident report, I can go ahead and make this video, although it is sad because if you've been following my Love is Blind recaps from the beginning, then you know that I love me some Mr. Brennon Lemieux. He was my guy this whole season. I said nothing but great things about him. Did he annoy me at the reunion? Yes, absolutely. But everybody has their good days and their bad days, their good moments and their bad moments. So I accepted it. It continued to like and enjoy Brennon as a person and, just enjoy the way that he loves his wife, Alexa, as well. So when I read through these police incident reports, let me tell you, I was shocked. I was disappointed, and I felt horribly for his ex-girlfriend who allegedly suffered these injuries, allegedly caused by Brennon. So let's go through them, you guys, shall we? So here's the first report. I'm just going to stop this banner from rolling so that we can go ahead and read it. So the first one is the incident report on Brennon in particular. One thing that I found kind of jumped out to me is that in that box, you see this box that's marked in black at the top left there. It says suspect, okay? And then there are 3 options there: known, unknown, or arrested. The known box is checked. Oh, you know what? Okay, thank God. This doesn't mean what I thought it meant. I thought it meant, is this like someone who's known to the police or not? But now they're saying, is it known that this person is a suspect or unknown, or were they arrested? So never mind on that thought. So let's get into the timeline on when this happened. This alleged incident is reported to have happened. It's dated to have happened on January 27th, 2021, which was last year, which was only 5 or 6 months prior to him and Alexa filming for season 3 of Love is Blind. One thing that I really have to make clear here, you guys, is that these charges against Brennon were dropped. Okay, so we can talk about what it's alleged that he did, but at the end of the day, he was not found guilty. And actually, these were not even tried. These charges were not tried. They were just dropped. I think, when you make a complaint to the police, a prosecutor gets to look over them, or I think some kind of a jury gets to look over them and see if there's enough evidence and data there to go ahead and prosecute the charges. And I believe that this case did not make it past that stage. Okay, so let's just make that very, 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 very clear here. I'm not absolving Brennon of anything at all. I just want to make a clear distinction that he was not found guilty and he was not tried for any of this. Okay, so let's bring back up that document. So over there, you see his name is listed, Brennon Lemieux. Very unique name, very unique height, 6'4", and we saw that he absolutely was a giant. And then they just put a couple of pieces of information about him, just basic statistical information. It's not until you get to the incident report written for his ex-girlfriend that you get a bit more detail. So over here, you can see that her name was Sarah. We're not going to get into her last name or anything like that, of course. It says that she is associated with the suspect. Of course, they were in a relationship. They were apparently together for about 3 months at the time of this alleged incident. Brennon was 30 years old at the time, and Sarah was 22 years old at the time as well. He's 6'4", 210 pounds. She is 5'3", 140 pounds. So there you go, a difference of over 1 foot. And then almost 100 pounds. I think this is 70-pound difference as well. So the size difference between Brennon and his ex-girlfriend, the age difference, the height difference is enormous. And I think that that really kind of just emphasizes what happened even more, in my opinion. So now when you get into, sorry, I'm going to bring back Brennon's because I forgot this little piece. I was so focused on something that was irrelevant, which is the suspect known box, that I missed the comment above it. So in the comment above Brennon on the incident report, you see that it says suspect threw complainant against the wall, causing pain. So that was a reason why police were involved in this situation. So now when you get back to Sarah's more detailed police report, after you get past her size and everything like that, you see information about her alleged injuries. So then it goes injury 1, apparent minor injury, concussion, bruises, and scratches. You know, they mark it as minor, but I personally would consider a concussion to be a major injury. Is a concussion not some sort of a brain injury? Like, it seems pretty major to me, especially when you're claiming that one person threw another person into a wall, then you're seeing bruises and you're seeing scratches. Like, I don't know, but you know what? These people see a lot of things. They see people getting stabbed. They see people getting shot. So I think that those things are more major injuries to them versus bruises and scratches and concussions. That might be what happened at, you know, when it came time to mark what, you know, the severity of what it is that this woman allegedly experienced. And so now the assault box is checked off, and then they say that the circumstances were an argument. She was not under the influence of alcohol, not under the influence of drugs, and she was not transported. I believe this police report was filed from a hospital or something after she had already been to a hospital. So we're going to get into like the actual written thing here. Let me show you a little preview of it, of the actual write-up that the police did. And so they're going to say that like this kind of broke out over a fight. She didn't want to go home because she had been drinking. She didn't want to drink and drive. But in this report, it says that she is not, it says that she is not drunk or anything like that. That's the reason why she waited until after she had visited the hospital to go ahead and file the police report. I believe it was at the behest of her mother that she did this, which I think is wonderful for her mom. So violation of protective order, marked no. So she did not have a protective order against Brennon at the time that this alleged incident took place. They were not living together. And then they marked the suspect as Brennon Lemieux. And then, you know what's crazy about his last name? His last name means the best in French. And then they say that their relationship was boyfriend and girlfriend. The offense is aggravated assault, serious bodily injury, and that she is associated with the victim. Again, that goes in the whole boyfriend and girlfriend situation. So now let's read the actual word by word report that was filed alongside all of this. So I'm just going to zoom it in on my end because it is a little bit small. So the police officer who reported it said that on January 28th, 2021, at about 12:46 a.m., the responding officer was dispatched to the location regarding an injured person. Upon arrival, responding officer met with the complainant, Sarah, who stated that on January 27, 2021, which was the day before, at about 12 a.m., about 24 hours prior, she was with suspect Brennon Lemieux at the listed location in Dallas County, Texas. The suspect, Brennon, and the complainant, Sarah, have been dating for 3 months. The complainant stated that they were having some drinks, talking and having a good time when an argument started between them, and the suspect then became upset and asked her to leave. She did not want to leave because she had a couple of drinks. The suspect, Brennon, then became more upset and grabbed her by the arms and threw her against the wall, causing her to strike her head on the wall, knocking her unconscious for a brief moment. She was able to get conscious and the suspect was striking her with both hands, pushing her and scratching her, causing pain. So she's saying that this man knocked her out by throwing her into a wall. Then he started striking her. What is that? Is that punching, like closed fist punching? Are these slaps? None of this is acceptable. But I'm very curious. Remember the size difference between these people, you guys. Brennon, 6'4". She is 5'3" or 5'4", like 1 foot difference. And then he weighs 210 pounds. She weighs 140 pounds, a difference of 70 pounds there. It's a lot, you guys, and it makes it all the more disturbing. And arguing over what that would merit all of this. I don't think there's an argument in the world that could merit somebody putting their hands on their partner, right? Throwing them against the wall, allegedly, right? And causing them to lose consciousness and everything. So let me just try. Okay, so I'm trying to regain my place here. And then she says that he was also allegedly scratching her. Now, why would he be scratching her up on top of all of this? This sounds so crazy to me. Like, what the heck was going on? The complainant then slept on the couch. She must have been terrified until she felt good to drive home. Then she drove to her home in Texas, where she made the outcry to her mother, and her mother transported her, I guess, to the hospital or to the clinic, urgent care, where she was evaluated and diagnosed with a concussion and other bruising. So sad. The responding officer observed severe bruising on her left back arm, hands, and scratches on the wrist. So this goes back to what I was asking you before. These sound like major injuries. So why were they being listed as minor injuries, right? Like, I do not understand that. Like, and this happened, she still had the bruising. She still had the scratches and stuff that the officer could see and describe as major 24 hours after the incident happened. So left back arm. So that sounds like, perhaps he was kind of, grabbing her, squeezing her like this by the arms. What else was kind of listed there as an injury? Scratches on the wrist, which is crazy to me. I don't understand that at all. What else? Yeah. And hands as well, bruising on her hands as well. So she then completed a family violence affidavit, which I believe is some sort of a restraining order. And the officer took photos of the injuries and uploaded them via a body camera device. She was advised to not make any contact with the suspect, who is Brennon Lemieux from Love is Blind Season 3. You guys, I don't even know what to say after having read that. Like I said a little bit earlier, Brennon was my star of this show in terms of the guys. Like, he seemed like such a great person. He seemed like such a dedicated person. He seemed like such a loving person to Alexa and everything, honoring her, her religion, her family, you name it. And just to see and hear and read these police incidents reports just makes me so sad. One thing that I wonder, again, I want to remind you guys that he was never prosecuted. These were never taken to trial, right? I wonder what happened. Did she drop the charges herself? Like, she didn't want to pursue them? Because it seems as though the police had more than enough evidence to go ahead and prosecute this case and put Brennon on trial, right? They had photographs of the bruises and the scratches. They had the doctors also confirming that she had a concussion. So what happened? The unfortunate thing is that the majority of times when it comes to domestic violence cases and whatnot, the victims choose not to prosecute them. Maybe it's for fear, or maybe it's because given the cycle of abuse, they think that the person is going to do better, they can forgive each other and like move forward and be happier. The person won't do it again. I don't know. But at the end of the day, it makes me sad. One thing worth remembering is the difference between the two of them, right? Brennon was 30 years old at the time of the incident. She was 22 years old. He's 6'4", she's 5'4". Sorry, he's like 70 pounds bigger than her. Like, I can totally see her feeling scared, feeling intimidated, and feeling worried about retribution as well. Guys, I really want to know how you feel about this. Are you shocked to hear this news? Mind you, this happened about 5 or 6 months before Love is Blind officially filmed for season 3. So casting, I believe, would have been like in full swing at this point. So I wonder if Brennon disclosed the situation or if he didn't. Did Love is Blind production know about this or casting know about this and choose to kind of ignore it for the sake of having him on the show? The charges were initially filed 2 months after this alleged incident. So the incident in January, the charges filed in March, and that's only 3 or 4 months prior to filming, which is an even tighter deadline, which makes me believe that they had already selected their final cast at this point and decided to move forward. So it just really makes you wonder, like, how much did they know, if anything? I don't know. Do they not do background checks on these people? I would like to assume that when they are trying to get people to marry strangers, they do background checks on them, right? I don't know. The whole thing is very crazy to me. It's very disappointing to me. And it's very worrisome to me. One thing I want to say, I just, and I feel bad even saying this, but Alexa's own father, remember, we all loved Alexa's father on Love is Blind. I unfortunately do not have a photo of him, but he himself has a history of domestic violence charges. I believe he's got at least 2. I do have to write it down, a note to myself to do a separate video on that. But maybe that's the reason why, Alexa has decided to, do you think he even disclosed it to her prior to marriage? I do wonder. But if he did disclose it to her at some point, I feel like the reason why she would decide to stay is because, listen, her own dad has had 2 domestic violence charges against him as well. So this is something that is not necessarily new territory for her, allegedly, of course. Anyway, you guys, this is disappointing. This is sad. And all we can do is wish all the best moving forward to Brennon's ex-girlfriend. And I don't know what more can, you know what I mean? Like, it's just disappointing. Really, this is who you all put on season 3. Like, he really talked a good game, especially at the reunion, with his whole his whole act, right? Like, he really was extra at the reunion. Like, he really took the whole nice guy thing to the next level at the reunion. And just to turn out that this stuff was hiding, like, these were the skeletons in his closet, domestic violence charges, aggravated assault charges. Yikes. Guys, let me know what you think about all of this in the comment section down below. And as usual, we'll chat. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.